Hey everyone, thanks for getting on today. It's no secret that I am not an influencer. So if I look like a deer in the headlights, I do apologize for that. I am trying to get better at this. But let's delve into today's episode with a question. And that is, have you ever walked through a model home and then you forgot what you saw the moment you left it? And here's something really interesting about that everything was probably pretty nice in the home. It had good furnishings. It was a pleasing palette. It probably had on-trend finishes, but for some reason you can't remember anything about that home. So why is that? And that's what this episode is about, the cost of indecision in hierarchy, the reason why nice homes still don't work. So for today, I'll be using those model homes as an example, but really it happens everywhere. And with model homes, it seems that the old beliefs are still dominantly in play when they build the home, which is to say that they designed to appeal to everyone, which really just means that they painted it all white. But then emotionally, that translates into meaning that it was designed for no one because nobody can connect with the space. The problem wasn't that it wasn't a nice home. The problem was that everything was chosen without the thought to the design hierarchy. Or to put it another way, the psychology of design. So the reason you forgot about what it is you saw the moment you left it wasn't really your fault. It's the design's fault because it didn't engage you emotionally and it didn't stimulate your psyche. It didn't tell you how to feel, how to behave, or who you are, so you lost interest. Anyone would. Here's the big reveal, and after I tell you, chances are you won't ever look at design without thinking about this. And that is that the thing we're all actually looking for isn't good design or even great design. We're all just looking for ourselves. Because what design is really intended to do is it's intended to reflect back to us who we really are. I had this quote on my wall in college and it said, "I've gone to look for myself. If I should arrive before I come back, keep me here." I've always loved that quote. I think it's so silly and funny. But it's also really true. So as a designer, I love walking through something like the Parade of Homes with large groups of people because what really fascinates me about that is reading their body language and reading in between the lines as I listen to them make comments to each other about the space. It's really something that's always fascinated me, the psychology of design. And it's one of the reasons that I decided to become a real estate agent and even do this channel. For example, when I see someone walking through a home and all of a sudden they become really quiet, robotic, socially awkward, that's information for me. It's signaling that the psychology and the balance of the design is off. I can see it immediately first in their body language. People become unsure of themselves and then they kind of try to be polite, but not try to look like they feel awkward. So really they're just kind of sitting there kind of stiff and they're looking for the closest exit and maybe they're checking their watch or their phone and wondering when they can leave. And that's because the space never gave them a clear signal. So they start looking around them, finding any kind of distraction that they can, or even they look to other people in the space to try to figure out how they're supposed to be behaving there or what they're supposed to be feeling there. And that's the central problem in design today. And it's exactly what my philosophy is built to resolve. So when a room's hierarchy is off or that psychology is off, the identity of that person gets misplaced. And then the mind has to work even harder than it should. Instead of already knowing how it should feel or who you are in that space, it starts going, what should I be feeling? And where should I be looking? And what should I be doing? Or maybe when can I leave? And the real question underneath all of that, again, is that they just want to know who they are in the space. That constant negotiation that then happens in the brain creates fatigue. It might be a subtle fatigue, and a lot of people can't even tell you what they're feeling. They just know that they feel something and they're uncomfortable. Unresolved hierarchy then also has hidden costs, especially in real estate. It shortens how long people stay, which you may not think is a big deal, but in real estate, that is super big deal because if they're not staying there very long, they're probably not going to buy it. And for buyers, it slows also how quickly decisions are made and it weakens their confidence. Who wants to stay in a home or buy a home where they feel their confidence is diminished. So if you've lived in a home for a while and you're starting to feel this discomfort, most people respond by just adding more stuff. They add more pillows on the couches. They add more decor in the room, more art on the walls, more texture. But clarity doesn't come from addition. It comes from understanding that design hierarchy. So again, in real estate, confidence is where decisions happen, right? If people don't feel confident, they don't move forward, period. But once hierarchy is established, what leads, what supports, what defines, and it's done in a way that really tells a story of who you are, the space then sends the right signals to the psyche. That is a super powerful tool. It can be used to empower, to calm, to heal anxieties, to uplift and inspire. A lot of businesses now are using this psychology. They don't even know they're using this psychology because I kind of created it. But they're using it to help boost productivity. And you see this, or you hear about this in people's home offices. They'll like add a plant or something, like my little fake guy right here. Because I don't take care of plants. I sort of kill plants because I love them, but I forget to water them. That's why this guy's fake. But the greenery helps cheer you up, especially in the wintertime. It's the psychology of design. And I'll be delving into that a little bit more in episode 3. But to conclude today's episode, design isn't about just making something pretty or the most glamorous. It's about resolving what's unclear. But before anything can be resolved, you have to understand what the hierarchy is, what the psychology is, and how to use it. So I hope you come back for episode 3, and I hope that you found some value today. Please like and comment on this episode if you found it helpful, or if you have questions. I'm sure you have lots of questions because I didn't really answer anything, did I? But maybe in episode 3, we'll go more into it and what it is. So I'm Alexandria, and I help people see design differently. And I hope you'll see design differently too. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.